Welcome back. I'm Fires, here to deliver another Skyforge starter guide. This guide is going to focus on the Paladin class. The Paladin is one of the 3 starter classes every player is given access to after they finish the intro story quests. This class is considered a tank class. In other words, this is a melee class whose job it is to keep the attention of the enemy while your friends burn them down. But in the beginning, you'll simply be grinding through missions solo. As of right now, in open beta, the stats to focus on are stamina, strength, and possibly valor, but that can always change at a later date if they fix what most people consider is wrong with the current state of might. The first mission is on Danken Island, and you start with, 8 abilities bound to only 3 buttons. Sounds a bit crazy, but it'll make sense soon. As you work your way through this mission, you will be rewarded with items that will automatically unlock 2 more abilities. I'll discuss how that happens later. The Paladin class is different than the other 2 starter classes because it works primarily off of a combo system using your left and right mouse clicks. The left clicks are sword techniques that basically move your combo chain counter up 1 level, while the right clicks are combo terminations, or endpoints of your combo chain. After you initiate a combo chain, you have 3 to 4 seconds to make your next move, otherwise it resets back to 0. It will also reset if you move your feet. An interesting side note here is the fact that your combo doesn't have to be built on the same target. As long as you don't move your feet, you can turn via mouse movement, hit different targets, and still continue to build your combo chain. In addition to the combo system, this class has an energy resource bar. The Paladin class calls this energy Righteous Anger. Some abilities consume this resource, others do not, and further yet, other abilities may still work, but have enhanced effect if there is Righteous Anger available. This energy bar will refill at a normal rate all by itself. A bit later down the road, you'll pick up the Holy Ground ability that will remove the Righteous Anger cost from any abilities used while standing in that area. Let's start this ability discussion at the bottom. A single left click will perform Righteous Blow. Sex puns! Love it. Anyway, this will swing your sword in an overhead right to left slash, cause minimal amount of damage, and then wait for your next move. This successful attack will move your combo counter up to 1 and make the next 2 options available. Note that after this attack, your hotbar icons for left and right click have changed. Also note that all of your melee attacks cleave, that is, they do damage to all targets in range. They do vastly reduce damage to non-primary targets, but they will hit multiple targets. This will be important later on in a future guide when discussing aggro generation. If you click the right button at this time, your character will perform Seal of Light. This is a wind slashing technique that does damage to your target and targets behind them. If you have 80 points of Righteous Anger, this will do increased damage. This is a helpful move when clearing out trash mobs or swarm mobs because it does decent directional area damage and it's quick to activate, just 2 clicks, 1 left then 1 right. If instead you chose to left click for the second time instead of using the combo breaker Seal of Light, your character will perform Punishing Blow and swing their sword with a cleaving backhand left to right slice, causing more damage than Righteous Blow did. This will move your combo chain counter up to 2, opening up the next 2 abilities. Just like before, you now have a choice. If you want to end your combo, right click. This will activate Punishing Bolt. This is a single target attack that does big damage to your target and a small amount of cleave damage to nearby targets with a giant overhead chop. Just like Seal of Light, this ability is enhanced if you have 130 points of Righteous Anger. It will be accompanied by lightning and do noticeably more damage. If you chose not to end your combo here with Punishing Bolt, you can left click instead. This activates Judicial Blow. This ability does nearly the same amount of melee damage as Punishing Bolt before the lightning, and looks like a spinning roundhouse slash left to right. This will put your combo counter at 3. Unlike the prior combo levels, this level only has access to a left click to finish off the combo chain. If you right click at this time, your character will do nothing but crouch, waiting for you to launch the left click finisher, or just break the chain. Later in your Paladin progression, you will earn the ability that gives you the right click top finisher, but for now you only have Justice Blade. This is a big damage single target ability that will knock lesser targets up in the air with a jumping uppercut slash, and then smash them down to the ground with an overhead chop. A very important part of this ability is the fact that it will restore 70 Righteous Anger just for using it. So that rounds out the Paladin combo system discussion for now. If you hold down your right click without having any combo points built up, you'll trigger the Waves of Wrath ability. This will make your sword glow and spin you around, doing moderate damage to nearby targets and knock them down. The weaker the enemy, the longer they'll stay down. This ability requires 120 Righteous Anger and is on a 14-second cooldown timer. Notice, this ability will not start a combo chain. Only a Righteous Blow from a left click can start a chain. The last starting ability is bound to your number 2 key. This is called Celestial Shield. This ability will absorb damage up to 12% of the Paladin's health. The shield will remain active for 5 seconds if not broken, but if it absorbs its maximum amount of damage, it explodes and does area effect damage to nearby targets. Shields are very important in this game because there's no conventional healers like you find in most MMORPG games. Some more advanced classes have some heal ability, but the majority of incoming damage is either mitigated by shields or avoided altogether by getting out of the way. The standard method of regaining health in combat is via walking over health sparks dropped by enemies or using consumables. At some point during your first mission, you will be awarded a new ability called Onslaught 1. This ability is bound to your number 1 key and makes your Paladin charge towards your target, knocking it down and dealing moderate damage. Onslaught 1 consumes 50 Righteous Anger and is on a 10-second cooldown after use. This ability has a fairly long range. If your target's almost in range, your Paladin will run towards the target until they can dash in. This makes it a good gap closer, as well as a handy peel tool to get enemies off your squishy teammates later. This also works as an excellent interrupt. Finally, you'll be awarded Righteous Verdict. This ability is bound to your number 4 key. This is a ranged, high damage, single target spell, kinda like what most games have called a Paladin Smite. It requires no Righteous Anger to cast, but it's on a 20-second cooldown. This is basically free spike damage, so use it when you can. At this low level, you don't have access to Impulse Charge, but you will soon, so I'll mention it briefly. Seal of Light, Punishing Bolt, and Righteous Verdict can trigger your Impulse Charge. If you use one of these abilities when your Impulse Charge is ready, it will do an amount of bonus damage affected by your Spirit stat. You can kind of think of this as a guaranteed critical, so if you want to make the most out of your right-click combo breakers, hit them when the Impulse Charge is ready, or blow it on a cast of Righteous Verdict. After the Impulse Charge is triggered, it'll recharge by itself. When you get a target down to low health, a pop-up notification, E, will appear next to your character's right. This means that you can use your Execute. If you hit the E key, it'll lift the target up in the air and blow them up with electricity, finishing off any remaining hit points. The Execution ability is available to all classes, but each class has a unique animation. The executions are on a 25-second cooldown after use. Above your health bar, you can also find other transient buffs and cooldown timers, like the ones for your shield's remaining time. Before I wrap this guide up, I wanted to circle back to a promise I made to you earlier, and explain how you were mysteriously awarded those 2 additional abilities as you work through the first mission. Soon after you finish this first mission, you will meet with Flavius at the Research Center, and he will allow you to see the Ascension Atlas. Each class has their own separate atlas that unlocks class abilities and talents, but after you progress through any atlas and unlock the Path of the Blank node, you'll open up access to the Upper Atlas. From there, you can progress towards new classes, but for now, let's just concentrate on the Paladin's Atlas. Every class has a starting node labeled Path of the whatever. To unlock a new node, you need to have previously unlocked an adjacent node to link from, and have the required amount of sparks to unlock that node. So during that first mission, one of the subquests rewarded you with 10 Sparks of Destruction. These are the red crystals you see down here. The game automatically spent them to unlock this node for you, granting you this ability. This happened again a little later, unlocking the next node in the path, granting you Righteous Verdict. But now if you notice, the next node has a green icon in the center. These are unlocked using Sparks of Creation, and the next node is blue, requiring Sparks of Balance. There are a few different sources for these sparks, which I may cover in another guide, but this is basically how you will progress as a Paladin in a nutshell. And with that, I'll bring this starter guide to a close. I hope you've enjoyed this guide and it helps you either become a better Pally, or sparks your interest in trying the game. Please feel free to share any questions or comments you may have, and I'll do my best to answer them. Remember to like the video and subscribe for more Skyforge guides. Till next time, happy hunting.